We all like TikTok, don't we? The Chinese-owned short film website is incredibly popular, except not in the White House, where they don't like the Chinese ownership part, and they've given its parent company until this weekend to find a buyer or face being banned from the US. Well, it doesn't seem as if finding a buyer will be too hard. Amazon want it, and there's another consortium led by Tim Stokely, founder of the OnlyFans website, famous for its porn. Let's talk to Will Guyatt, LBC's technology correspondent. Will, it's a pretty rum group of would-be buyers here.
I was going to say, it's not really that stellar a group. Amazon is an interesting potential buyer, but you've got Larry Ellison, who's Oracle, does a lot of the back-end data work for the platform. Lots of Trump-supporting tech investors are apparently getting together into a consortium. You've even got somebody who's kind of like an internet free speecher saying that they will buy it and replace the algorithm. But Andrew, the algorithm is the kernel's special sauce at the center of the platform of TikTok. And without that, it's not the special thing that everybody thinks it is. And we're in a weird situation in that JD Vance is seemingly trying to sell something he doesn't own. He hasn't got Chinese permission to sell. And it's not entirely apparent what they would end up selling, because the Chinese owners, ByteDance, might say, this algorithm is worth so much to us, we don't want to reveal the secret to anybody else.
They might well indeed. And of course, you've got the example of what happened to Twitter when it became X. So we know that ownership can have a really material effect on how a social media system actually operates. And presumably, anyone sensible taking on TikTok would want to keep it more or less exactly as it is.
You wouldn't want to break it. It's one of the most successful platforms in terms of audience, in terms of revenue, and in terms of continued growth. That's the most important thing. X as a platform, no matter what Elon Musk is telling you, is not growing. Growth of Meta's Facebook has slowed down. Growth of Instagram has slowed down, whereas TikTok still has really quite strong growth. You could figure that Amazon might want to buy it because they could turn it into a shopping service then. All the looks and fashions and products that are shown in their millions on TikTok may end up then being easily clickable and for sale on Amazon. There seems to be a number of AI companies who are sniffing around a bit as well, but the reality is companies are putting their names out there as potential bidders to get publicity. This is going to cost. It has to be worth. If Instagram sold for $2 billion in 2012, I think it was, this has got to be worth something now in the regions of $30 billion plus dollars. And that's not money that some of these organizations are going to easily have slushing around. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. We do know, I'm pretty confident that Elon Musk is not going to try and buy it, which is what there was a long suggestion that he was going to, but he's got enough trouble on his own hands. And bizarrely, he's just sold himself X for $1 billion more than he bought it for, which I don't quite understand, but accounting and financial experts would.
I'm sure it's just your political bias against poor Elon Musk that makes you fail to understand that. I'm really interested, however, the story was always what the Americans did in our time was they created fantastic technologies the rest of the world needed, and that's part of their economic dominance. But this is the second example of something created in China. I'm thinking, first of all, of their version of AI, chat AI. DeepSeek, it was called.
Yes, it was.
And so the Chinese are on a kind of roll here. It's not just TikTok, is it?
Well, no, TikTok is now several years old. The country as a whole wants to invest in technology. Some might suggest there's rife intellectual property theft and everything else from the West, but others would suggest they're trying to do more with less. If there are general restrictions in China and they can't get the latest technology to build AI, they're going to have to make it work better on less powerful equipment. That's the reality of this situation. But you find yourself in a strange position now with this potential sale of TikTok, because there was a big Canadian investor who wanted to get involved and buy it at one point. You'd have to wonder, with everything that's going on in the US right now, if he's going to go, I'm not going to invest in this if you want it to be a US company. We find ourselves in a very, very strange time. I think Amazon or the group of investors who are close to Trump, Alexis Ohanian and other tech investors, are likely to be the two favorites to get it. The others are just publicity-seeking noise.
Publicity-seeking noise. Well, we're going to find out more this weekend. Will Guyatt, thank you very, very much indeed for that. I'm going to be joined by my political panel in just a few minutes at the end of a political week that has, without doubt, changed the world. But the time now is 6:48.